Then add the cable end cap and crush it so that it securely holds the cable. Straighten any kinks in the cable and then add the lower cable until we form one cable assembly. Then we need to insert this cable down the tube, and it must pass behind the silver tube, and the whole assembly passes down in the same fashion. And as the cable gets tighter, the top tube insert is inserted, making sure it's aligned with the handlebar, and pushed all the way home. Then the black cable is pushed until it comes through into the top tube insert. It does not need to go around the same corner, because it will go around the corner when the brakes are tightened. And it's very important that when the cable comes out at the opposite end of the tube, it passes through a spring. So this is the spring that it must pass through, the centre off. Then pull the cable out, and we're now pulling the lower cable, and it needs to be passed through the noodle and the spring. Just feed it through gently, and then through the small hole underneath the washer in the clamp, and just tighten it up with about 20 millimeters through. Just tighten it up by hand. Next, we can refit the front fork. Very important to make sure that the front fork is in the correct position, not facing the other way. At the moment my handlebars are pointed in one direction, so my front fork is also pointing. With the easy check is that the screw heads must match with the upper, with this screw over here. So I add the other half, and then with the 3mm Allen key, hexagonal wrench, I reassemble. If any of these screws come out, we must make sure that the spring washer is added back under the head. So we tighten is to refit the front wheel. So we lie the wheel inside the brake band, and using the fasteners we removed, we place the axle bolt through the top hat with the flat face against the plastic, through the centre of the wheel, and we turn it slightly. Second top hat, again the flat plastic piece, flat against the plastic. And the washer and the nylock nut. next of all, we slowly unfold the bike. We don't want to go too fast because we don't want to pull the cable out. So slowly unfold. All the buttons pop out. Now our next stage is to set the brake band. So we're going to pull the cable out as far as it will go, slacken the nut we tightened by hand with the 8mm fastener, and we're going to squash the spring until the brake band is tight on the hub, and then tighten up again with the 8mm fastener, 8mm spanner. Now this is the first stage. Once we've done that, we must fully apply the front brake lever and ensure that the cable, black cable which passes through the handlebars, is now gone all the way down into the bottom of the tube insert, which it has. So that action of tightening the cable pulled it all the way home. So now when we go back to the wheel, the brake band has gone very loose again. So we slacken off and we repeat setting. But this time it will be the final setting. Again we pull it tight. Pliers can be used, but mustn't damage the cable, and we nip up the 8mm fastener. Then we pull the brake again. If again we get over slackening, repeat. This action is taking all the slack out of the cable system. This time the brake has been applied. Final adjustment can be done at the brake lever where we had wound it all the way in before. We can now unwind to set the final brake feel. Finally, to tidy up the top end of the bike, we put the cap that we'd removed back in place, pushing home, and then we apply at the end of the cable end cap, squash it firmly, and we make sure that the cable isn't touching the tyre. Bend it away if it is. Visual check shows that the band is parallel and the gap around is a little bit large, so we do some more adjustment until it's the correct size. And most important final check will be to open the bike, make it ready for riding, and actually do a test riding the bike along, make sure that the brake is fully functional.